In this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to remove the maintenance station from the RI1000X. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to open up our lid here. Now, in case you guys have any error codes or anything like that happening, make sure you contact RICOH Tech Support. Get a case started with them, have them troubleshoot before you start changing parts out. You don't want to avoid any kind of warranties. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and move forward. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to release our carriage. Now, to release the carriage, we're going to go to our maintenance menu. And we're going to go to regular maintenance. And hit yes. That's going to shift the carriage over towards the center of the printer, giving us access to the maintenance station. As you can see there, my carriage is there towards the center. I'm going to go ahead and reset it back to its home position by pressing yes. And I'm going to show you guys how to manually release that carriage. Now, if you need to manually release it, that's because you might have an error code 999. If that's the case, please don't forget to contact RICOH Tech Support, start a case, have them help you troubleshoot. You don't want to avoid any kind of warranties by changing parts on your own. This video here is just for reference sake and showing you guys how to clean out your maintenance station. Okay, as you can see, my carriage is over here, back to its home position or over the maintenance station. I'm going to go ahead and power off my unit, and then I'll show you guys how to manually remove it. Okay, before you guys work on the unit, don't forget to turn it off from the front panel, also from the back. You don't want any kind of power in the boards while you are changing parts out or tinkering with the unit. Okay, so I'm going to go behind my unit, I'm going to go turn it off. And I'm going to show you guys how to manually release that maintenance station. Okay, you can see there's a little piece of plastic hanging right here. What you want to do, you want to rotate that 90 degrees. You're going to rotate counterclockwise about 90 degrees or so, just so this little piece of plastic is level to the sensor right here. So that right there is level to that sensor, and I can go ahead and I can gently move my carriage over by grabbing the top of it. Just going to gently push it towards the center of the printer. Okay, at this point, if your unit is going to be down for more than a few minutes by you doing cleaning, say it's going to be down for like an hour or 2 hours, you want to go ahead and wet cap it. There is a video on how to wet cap in my channel. Go ahead and watch that video. Okay, for right now, we're going to go ahead and remove our maintenance station. First thing we're going to do is we're going to release our waste tube. We're going to push it back on this, and then we're going to pull the tube forward. So this is like a quick release valve, kind of like you see in an air compressor. You push back, and then you pull the tube forward. Next, we're going to remove our power cable here for that sensor. You're going to grab those cables nice and tight, and you're going to push towards or pull towards the back of the machine. That disconnects. We're going to have two screws, one here and one right up here. Going to go ahead and remove those screws. Now, if you are getting a 999, that's 999 error code, most of the time what's happening is that your maintenance station is full of dry ink, which is preventing it from going up and down. It's preventing the wipers, preventing the little gaskets from going up and down. If you do have an error code 999, once again, guys, please contact RICOH Tech Support, start a case, have them troubleshoot. You don't want to avoid any kind of warranties. Next, I'm going to release my tube here by opening up this little bracket right here. Pull my tube out. And then I'm going to very carefully bring out my maintenance station. Also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a paper towel on here because I don't want to get any ink in my unit. Okay, once that's loose, I'm going to go ahead and continue by releasing the drive cables here for that motor. Let's remove those little clips here. I'm going to grab my top cable right here. I'm going to grab that nice and tight. And I'm going to grab the colorful cables here. I'm going to pull those away just like that. Okay, once that's disconnected, we're going to go ahead and pull this all the way out. There we go. And we're going to place it here on top of our platen. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start cleaning it. Some of the stuff you're going to need to clean your maintenance station is going to be a little brush if you have dry ink, some swabs, lymph wipes, and of course the RICOH cleaning fluid. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to put a little bit on my lid. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the gearing. As you can see, my gears are not too dirty, but I'm just going to give them a quick little clean. Now if you get a lot of dry ink in these gears, that's what can prevent your carriage or your little wiper from going up and down. Same thing with these little gaskets. So you want to make sure these gears are nice and clean. You also want to look towards the bottom of it. Down here there's some more gears. You want to make sure that's nice and clean. You can use a little brush like I'm doing here, or a toothbrush works as well. Just going to be more careful with that and remove as much of that ink as possible. Okay, once you got that fairly clean, then you come here towards the top and we're going to start cleaning our wiper area and our gaskets. So I'm going to get my little swab here, put some cleaning fluid on that, and I'm going to start cleaning my wiper first, and then my gaskets. I'm going to get those nice and soaked just to help break down some of that dry ink. As you can see here, I'm not going across the gaskets, I'm just going around them carefully. You don't want to put too much pressure on those gaskets. Remember, they are rubber and you can damage or tear those. So you want to go around the gasket like so. Okay, you can get a little lint-free wipe. And you can clean your applicator, get some of that dry ink out of it. Put some more cleaner in your little cap here, and we'll continue cleaning. Now if you want to get your hands dirty, you can go ahead and wear some gloves. I don't mind getting my hands a little dirty here, so I'm not wearing any gloves. Once again, as you see here, I'm just going around the little gaskets here. I'm not going back and forth on them, just going around the gasket, a little bit on top. Now if you have a lot or a large amount of dry ink, you can also use your brush. Once again, you don't want to go across it, you just want to go around the gaskets. You make sure you use a nice soft bristle brush. You don't want something too harsh that can damage your gaskets. I'll go ahead and also get my roller here. This is what removes the ink from the wiper. So this is a metal roller. It can be a little more aggressive with it. Just don't want to be too aggressive. As you can see here, there's quite a bit of dry ink, but it's coming off fairly easily. What you can do if you have a lot of dry ink, you can go ahead and let this soak for a little bit. I got a lot of dry ink on this little roller, so I'm going to use the back of my brush here. I'm just going to gently scrape some of that dry ink off of it. Now if you got some tweezers, that works great as well. As you can see, I'm holding the wiper here. I'm holding that assembly because I don't want to put too much pressure on it to where I can actually push this back and damage it. So I'm just going to hold it right here. Okay, I'm also going to go ahead and clean the inside here. Once again, I'm going to grab my little brush and I'm going to clean the inside right here. Break down some of that ink that's building up in there. This is another area where this gets too much dry ink and can't prevent your wiper and your maintenance station from going up and down correctly. If that happens, that's when you start getting an error code 999. Once again, if you do have that code, contact RICOH Tech Support. Have them help you troubleshoot. In most cases, the best thing to do, if this is too dry with too much dry ink on there, is just replace the maintenance station. Mine wasn't too bad, so I can still kind of clean mine. But if you do have an exceeded or a large amount of dry ink, and you don't want to waste too much time cleaning this up, you want to go ahead and just purchase a new one. Sometimes what can happen if too much ink builds up in there, it can damage the gearing. It can damage the little cam that makes this go up and down. And at that point, well, there's no other choice but to go ahead and buy a replacement. Once again, if you do need to get to that point, contact RICOH Tech Support or have them help you troubleshoot and get you the correct part. I'll leave a link below to contact RICOH. I'll also leave a link on where to buy this maintenance station on the RICOH website if you need to. Alright, so that's fairly clean. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab some of my lint-free wipes. And I'm just going to clean some of that cleaner off of there. Once again, being gentle as possible. Go ahead and clean my roller here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and clean my gaskets. Again, I'm going to go around the gaskets. I'm not going to go over the top of them. I'm just going to go around them, removing some of that cleaner that's built up. You might need more than one lint-free wipe. Make sure you guys have some of those available. I'll add the link as well and the part number for the RICOH website to buy some lint-free wipes. And as you can see, we got most of that ink out of there. You really want to take the time, you guys can go ahead and get this super clean. Mine wasn't too bad. This should be good enough for me for today. I'll go ahead and take it off again later on in the week, and I'll give it another cleaning. But for right now, it should suffice. You really want to make sure that you get any dry ink that's building on top of the gaskets. That's what actually seals to the bottom of the carriage. Okay, now that I got that fairly clean, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this back into our machine. Alright, just going to go ahead and slide that back in there. Be careful not to get any ink on this connection right here. You want to just push that to one side. And I'm going to carefully bring in my maintenance station back into my unit. There we go. Another area you guys don't want to get any ink or liquid on is going to be that sensor right here towards the bottom. So be careful with that sensor as well. Okay. Got a little bit of ink down there. Let's go ahead and clean that up. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect my waste valve here. To reconnect it, it's going to push that back into that connection. We're going to make sure this tube here is not twisted or pinched. Once we make sure that's okay, we're going to close that little clamp there. We're going to reconnect our sensor power cable right there. And we're going to reconnect our drive motor right there. Gonna make sure we close all these little clips back up. Okay, and we're just gonna give it one more check. That's connected, waste valve's connected, sensor's connected. Make sure this is centered, stable right there, and we're gonna put back our screws. Now for this ones, you don't want to over tighten them, you don't want to strip them. I do it with my hand very gently like this. Once I feel the screws kind of tight, I just give it a quarter turn more, and that should be enough torque to hold that in place. Once again, nice and gentle. That's grabbing quarter turn more, and that should be good enough. All right, once we got this all set back into place, we're gonna go ahead and just clean up our mess over here, and we're gonna turn our machine back on. First from the back, and then from the front. Now if you guys are getting an error code 999, once you turn it back on, I'll show you guys what to look out for. So So when you turn the machine back on, you should see that maintenance station going up and down. So I'm gonna turn mine back on. Alright guys, if you saw my maintenance station, it went up and down. My carriage came back towards its home position. Now once again, if you guys are getting the error code 999, keep an eye out on that one. Make sure that's going up and down. If it's not, then you need to call RICOH tech support, get a case going, some troubleshooting, but you might need to replace that part. Thank you everybody. Have a good rest of your day.